am the Director of Nutrition and Wellness, as well as the Diabetes Prevention Program Coordinator at Crater, and the dietitian for the agency. So, what I like to do typically to start off is if you all can just raise your hand, if you or someone you know has prediabetes or diabetes. Raise your hand if you or someone you know has prediabetes or diabetes. Basically, all of us, right? Right. All right. So, can anyone share with the group what is prediabetes? What is prediabetes? Yes.
I'm not sure the exact number, but it's when your A1C levels are elevated.
Excellent. Yes. We're on the right track. Yes. Would anyone else like to share? No? Oh,
Well,
oh, we have someone else.
I received that diagnosis. However, because I was 5.7, I thought I was okay. And my physician said, no, you're pre-diabetic. I don't think so. Another physician said, look, either you're diabetic or you're not. There's no such thing as pre-diabetic. But anyway, but nonetheless, it's been down to 5.3 for the last 2 years. So I'm no longer pre.
All right. Excellent. Excellent. So, yes. So, as it's been shared already, so prediabetes is actually when your blood glucose levels are elevated. However, they're not high enough to be diagnosed as having diabetes. So, what do we look at when we look at a diagnosis for diabetes? So, someone already mentioned an A1C. So, your A1C is that average of your blood glucose for the last 2 to 3 months. Your A1C is an average of your blood glucose for the past 2 to 3 months. So, when we're talking about numbers in lab work, a normal A1C is less than 5.7. Prediabetes, an A1C is 5.7 to 6.4. And diabetes is diagnosed as an A1C of 6.5 or higher. All right? All right. So, with prediabetes, is there a way that we can reverse it? What do you all say? Yes. How many say yes? Okay. How many say no? No, no. 1, 2. All right. How many just don't know? All right. So, yes, the good news is that with prediabetes, you actually have the opportunity to reverse your elevated blood sugar levels. Because when you have prediabetes, you're looking at your beta cells in the pancreas. And so you still maintain enough beta cells to manage your insulin throughout the body. So if you have prediabetes, yes, you're able to reverse it. If you have diabetes, are you able to reverse that to go to? All right, someone said a. What do y'all think? You can't reverse it. Right. So with diabetes, actually, you are not able to reverse that. However, there is something called remission, right? So what remission is when it comes to diabetes, it just means that you're able to maintain your blood sugar levels without medication within a normal range. But you still have technically diabetes. All right? So let's go on to the types of diabetes. Yes, I have a question.
How do you reverse pre-diabetes?
That is an excellent question.
You left unsaid.
Okay, so, all right, we can go back to that. So, with pre-diabetes, there are different ways that you can reverse it. One of the main ways, of course, is going to be by what you eat, right? So we know that when we eat something that is starchy or that contains carbohydrates, it elevates our blood sugar levels. And when we have excess amount of blood glucose in our bodies to where we don't have enough insulin, our blood sugar levels stay elevated. So when it comes to type 2 diabetes, you are able to reverse that when it comes to, like I said, depending on the types of foods that you eat, how much you eat. All right. Also, another way is through physical activity. So, how many people can tell us if when we exercise, do our blood sugar levels trend upward or downward? It trends downward, right? And one good way to look at this is some people wear, I'm sure you all have seen the CGMs, like the white, they wear a white circle on their arm. Some people wear them on their abdomen. Oh, you have one? Okay, do you mind just showing? Yeah. Yeah. Some people wear them on their thighs. Showing off the gun. But the CGMs is a continuous glucose monitor, and what it is it actually helps to show trends of your blood sugar levels. So when you exercise, yes, your blood sugar levels begin to trend downward. So to help manage your blood sugar, again, we say you can do it through diet, you can do it through exercise or physical activity. You can also do it through what? Medication management. So we know metformin typically is the first line of medication prescribed for those with diabetes type 2. Also, you have now what's well known or becoming very popular, your GLP-1s. So those are your Ozempics, your Trulicities, your Victozas, all of those. So yes, so we said we can manage it through diet, we can manage our blood sugar levels through physical activity, and we can manage it through medication management. Also, monitoring. So, what do I mean by monitoring?
A fingerprint.
Right. Finger pricks is one way. What's another way that was already mentioned? Someone has some. Yep, the CGM. Good, excellent. Yep. Some people track numbers, right? Writing them down helps. So good. All right. So I hope I answer your question as far as how we can start to reverse prediabetes. Okay. All right. So when it comes to the types of diabetes, what are the types of diabetes? So we have type 1, which is autoimmune, right? So that type, you can't really reverse that. There's nothing you can do really with that. You have to take insulin in order to manage your blood sugar levels, all right? With type 2, which is the most common type of diabetes, that's the one that you're able to manage with lifestyle change. Then we have, of course, gestational diabetes, which is diagnosed in pregnant women between 24 to 28 weeks. And has anyone ever heard of a diabetes 1.5? Never heard of that one, right? A lot of people haven't. So, diabetes 1.5 is also known as LADA. And LADA stands for latent autoimmune diabetes in adults. So latent, meaning that it's diagnosed typically later on in adulthood. So some people, and oftentimes actually doctors, misdiagnose LADA as type 2, but actually it's autoimmune. So it's kind of that midway between type 1 and type 2. With LADA, eventually you will need insulin to manage your blood sugar. It's just a more gradual process in that happening. All right. So again, the types of diabetes are type 1, which is autoimmune. We have type 2, which can be managed through lifestyle change. We have gestational diabetes that's diagnosed during pregnancy. And we have 1.5, right? 1.5, which is also known as LADA. Good job. All right. So if you all can look at the handout. So we already talked about what prediabetes is. We talked about some ways that we can delay or prevent type 2 or prevent prediabetes, diabetes. One thing I did want to touch on is it talks about weight loss, being able to delay and prevent diabetes. So typically, if you lose about 7% of your body weight, that can do a lot as far as helping to prevent diabetes. All right. So there are, we look at BMI. So if you have a BMI that is overweight or obese, then that does put you at increased risk. Right. Also, if you are in a group class, such as if you are Hispanic, Latin American, Black American, Alaskan Indian, Indian Native, all those groups put you at higher risk of developing diabetes. Also, if you have a close relative, so say your mom or your dad had diabetes, or your brother, if you have a first degree relative, that also increases your risk for developing diabetes. All right?
Is it genetic? Can diabetes be passed down? Can it be passed down to your children?
So that is an excellent question. So diabetes cannot be passed down to your children. However, we know that type 1, bless you, type 1 diabetes, which is autoimmune, does put your children at an increased risk of developing it. So that type 1 typically runs in the family. All right? You're welcome. All right. So we were talking about weight and weight loss. So as far as the weight loss, again, 7% weight loss will decrease your risk for developing diabetes. What about physical activity? Tremendously will help. We already discussed how it will lower your blood glucose. What is the recommendation for how much physical activity we should be getting per week?
30 minutes a day.
Someone says 30 minutes. 20, okay, 5 times a week. All right. All right. So there's a two-part with that. So the recommendation for the week for physical activity is 150 minutes. And that's of moderate activity. Excellent. So when we talk about moderate activity, it means that your heart rate increases enough to where you're no longer able to talk. Hold on. You can, what is it? You can sing, but you can't talk. Yeah. So moderate physical activity, moderate physical activity. All right. So 150 minutes per week is the recommendation. Another recommendation with that, this is why I said it's a two-part, is how long should we be sedentary, so sitting down, before we get up and move around? How many minutes?
30 minutes.
After 30 minutes. After 30 minutes. Yep. So excellent. Excellent. All right. So on the handout, it also talks about the diabetes plate method, which is that diagram. I guess it's in what, green, yellow, and red. So what that is it shows what a typical plate, about a 9-inch plate, would look like, and the recommendations for your meals if you have diabetes or prediabetes. So if we look at that plate, you'll see on half of the plate it says what? Does it say veggies? Is there anything else that it says? Say it louder. Say it louder for us.
Non-starchy vegetables.
Non-starchy vegetables. Why is that important?
Potato is a vegetable.
Exactly. So not just vegetables, but your non-starchy vegetables. Why your non-starchy? Because your non-starchy vegetables are not going to elevate your blood sugars as much. All right? So some examples of your non-starchy vegetables are, trying to think of what we had today. Lettuce, we had like spinach, tomatoes, bell peppers, excellent, cucumbers, good. Yep, all of those are your non-starchy vegetables. Then you'll see in the top right, it says what? Exactly, your carbohydrate foods, which would be your fruits, right? Because fruits are nutritious, of course. They have a lot of nutrients and benefits. However, they contain natural sugar, fructose. So it will elevate your blood sugar. What's another thing that goes in that section? Your grains. Yep. So your grains are your rice, your pastas, your cereals. That's hot and cold cereals, right? So we're talking about grits. We're talking about oatmeal. All right? That's where the breads will be. Yes, exactly. Excellent. And then what's the other type of food that will go in that section? Carbohydrate food. We just talked about it. What type of vegetable? Your starchy vegetables. Right, right. So let's name those really quickly. Someone already said potatoes. What type of potatoes? Sweet potatoes, white potatoes, all potatoes. All potatoes. Let's make it easy. All potatoes. All right, good. Let's name the others. Corn. Ah, you beat me to the punch. Corn. Excellent. Corn is another starchy vegetable. Excellent. So we have potatoes. What type of potatoes? All potatoes. Good. What's the other starchy vegetable? Corn. Excellent. What's another starchy vegetable? Excellent. So beans. What type of beans? All beans. Whether it's butter beans, black eyed peas, navy beans, kidney beans, all beans. Black beans, yes, all beans, yes.
What about when you're eating beans to give the protein and not eating it?
So beans as protein, so beans are high in protein. Yes, but when we're talking about managing our blood sugar levels, we just have to remember that yes, it includes protein, but it also includes those carbohydrates. So it will elevate your blood sugar levels. All right? Yep, that was a great question. All right, so let's revisit. So our starchy vegetables, we said are potatoes. What type of potatoes? All potatoes. We said corn. We said we said beans. What type of beans? All beans. Here's another one. It's something that's actually green. It's actually green, but it's a starchy vegetable. Starts with the letter P.
Green peas.
Peas. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yep, peas. So, it'll wipe it out. We're just saying that if you have a starchy food, that's the amount that's recommended to help manage your blood glucose. That's all. You can still have it and enjoy it. All right. So we said potatoes, all potatoes. We said corn. We said beans. What type of beans? All beans. We said peas. And what's the last type of starchy vegetable?
Please don't say walnuts.
No, not walnuts.
Okay.
And this one most people typically don't get, so I'll just go ahead and share it. Your winter squash.
Oh.
Yes, so like pumpkin, acorn squash, any type of squash that has that thick, like rind to it, is considered a winter squash, and that is heavy in carbs. So you bring up a great question. So, like in the store where you see the like yellow bottleneck squash, that has a thin flesh. That isn't considered to be a starchy vegetable. It's the winter squash that has the thick flesh like pumpkin. Yes. Yep. All right. All right. So let's bring this part to a close. I know y'all are gonna get it. So what are and as a group, what are our starchy vegetables? Potatoes. All potatoes, good. What's the second one? Corn, excellent. What's the third? Beans. What type of beans? All beans. Right? What's the fourth one? Peas. And what's the last one?
Squash.
Winter squash.
Winter
Good job.
squash.
Excellent job. All right. So what this is saying is just that if you have any of those types of foods that are high in carbohydrates, so your starchy vegetables, any type of grains, any type of fruits, yes, it will elevate your blood sugar levels, but it's still okay to have. You just want to have it in that portion. All right. Yes.
Just to drill down a little bit on the rice thing.
Yes.
Because I've always, stay away from white foods. Just avoid them, that's where you go. But there's long grain and wild rice, or your brown rice or whatever the case is.
Right.
Does that have the same impact that, is that going to be less? Is that going to just be a slower rise?
So let's talk about it. So when it comes to your grains, you have, we'll just say regular grains, and you have whole grains. Your whole grains, so for example, your whole grain brown rice is going to include fiber. What does fiber do? When we consume fiber, it slows down that glucose spike. So yes, if you eat a type of grain that includes fiber, it'll slow down that glucose spike. And by that way, it helps to manage your blood sugar levels. All right. If it's a grain, all grains are going to elevate it, but your whole grains are going to be a little better for you because they'll slow down that spike. All right. Great question. All right. And then the last part of our plate is on the bottom right hand side, our protein foods. Right. I think we all pretty much know where our protein foods are, but I don't want to assume. So, of course, our meats, right, our leaner meats, chicken, turkey, fish, seafood, eggs. Eggs are an excellent source of protein, actually a complete protein. All right. Typically, no. No. The yolk has a lot of nutrients in it, a lot of your B vitamins. It has choline, which is great for your eyes, and then just iron. It contains so many nutrients to where, no, my recommendation is if you're going to eat an egg, eat the complete egg. Now, if you have a certain goal, say your goal is you really want to lose weight or, something like that, and you really want to hone in and focus on that, then yes, the yolk includes more fat. However, typically it's not enough to really, be to really make that much of a difference. No, cholesterol. Let's talk about it. No, so there was actually a study, and so there was actually a study several years back saying that eggs were actually harmful for you, pretty much, because of the amount of cholesterol. However, recent studies and research has shown that no, cholesterol is still, of course, good for you because we have certain vitamins, vitamin A, D, E, and K, your fat soluble vitamins, that need that. All right. It's just, again, about not having an excess amount of that. All right. You're welcome. All right. So, again, we're talking about our protein foods, our meats, seafoods, eggs, all of that. And what is it recommending for the beverage? Water or a 0-calorie drink. Excellent, excellent, excellent. All right. So, again, this is a recommendation for if you have diabetes or if you have pre-diabetes or are at risk of having that. A great way to eat to help manage your blood glucose levels. So, we talked about all of that, right? So, here's the last part. If you have pre-diabetes, what can you do about it? Other than diet, other than medication, monitoring, all of that, there is a program called the Diabetes Prevention Program. Have you all heard of that before? Any chance? Okay, yes, I have a few yeses, great. So, again, I'm with Crater District Area Agency on Aging, and as the Diabetes Prevention Program Coordinator, we offer a diabetes prevention program. So what the program is it's a lifestyle change program. All right. So by lifestyle, we talk about what you eat. We focus on the physical activity of how many minutes a week? 150 minutes a week. Yep. We focus on weight loss, and we help with not help with, but we discuss stress management. Okay. So again, it's a lifestyle change program, which is a 12-month program, and it is approved by the CDC. And so we submit our data. We exclude any names or any identifiable information, but we have to submit our data for them to look at the quality of our program. But it has shown to be an effective program for preventing or delaying type 2 diabetes. All right. So if you or anyone you know has pre-diabetes or are at risk of having diabetes, we have the program and we are recruiting now for that program. The classes are held on Fridays beginning in January of next year. And at the main office, the class is 1 hour. After about that 6 month mark, we begin to meeting one time a month. And that way, we just focus on maintenance at that stage. So, all right. Does anyone have any questions? Y'all had great questions today. I think I saw your hand first.
What are your thoughts on the various GLP-1s on the market, and how has that supported people in their quest for diabetes-free life?
Okay, excellent question. So the question was, what is how do I feel about the GLP-1s on the market? So she's talking about, again, we've all heard of probably by now, your Ozempics, um, Manjaro, all of those. Okay, so your GLP-1s, it stands for glucagon-like peptides. And what it is it's prescribed for those with diabetes. And it works by, when you take it, it causes your stomach to release food slower. By releasing the food slower, it makes it so that you don't eat as much. And by doing that, it one kind of curbs the appetite, and two, by curbing the appetite, it helps to prevent or helps you to lose weight. Now, because of it being prescribed for those with diabetes at first, one of the side effects was the weight loss. So, with that being the side effect, now it's actually been approved for weight loss, but in a different name. For example, Ozempic is the diabetes medication prescribed for diabetes. Wegovy is the same exact medication, semaglutide, but it's prescribed for weight loss, right? Then you have the same thing with the Manjaros, tirzepatide. Manjaro is actually the strongest diabetes med that there is, the GLP-1. But my opinion on it is, if someone is struggling with diabetes management, if they have overweight or obesity, and they have tried other options and maybe that didn't work, you want to do something that works for you. The longer you go with diabetes complications and, just mismanagement or not being able to manage your blood sugar levels, the more you put yourself at risk for developing other complications. So, but that one, Ozempic, has been shown to be safe, typically safe. They do look at things as, making sure you don't have like medullary thyroid cancer, those sorts of things in your family. But yes, I would recommend it. Yeah. Yep. Yes.
There is some part of this equation that I think you have missed,
Okay.
and that is fiber.
Okay.
Fiber supplements are known to extract sugar through the GI tract as well as fats, and I'm a strong believer in fiber supplements.
I'm so glad you brought that up. So, I think we kind of touched on fiber when we were talking about the whole grains. Okay, you want me to touch it no more? Okay, okay. All right. All right. Okay. So yes. So again, fiber is extremely important. It can be found in your whole grain foods. So whole grain brown rice, whole grain breads, whole grain cereals, all of that. And what fiber does is again, it helps to slow down that glucose spike. Another thing that it does though is it is excellent for your cholesterol levels. Excellent for your cholesterol levels. So, how does this work? When we consume fiber, it kind of goes through your arteries to ensure kind of like picking up and pulling through a lot of that cholesterol. So this is why you see in the grocery store, for example, Honey Nut Cheerios, they advertise the little B, you know, great for heart health, cholesterol health. It is actually true because of the high fiber in it. So, yes, whenever you're able to consume fiber with your meal, you want to do that. It can also be found in fruits, in the skin or the peel of the fruit. So, in apple, make sure you eat that skin of the apple. Grapes, please don't peel the grapes. If, eat the whole grape. That's where the fiber is. So, yes. In supplement form, I'll just add to that. In supplement form, oftentimes, what is the brand like Metamucil? But the ingredient is psyllium husk. You'll see it on the label as psyllium husk. So, but thank you for giving me the opportunity to emphasize fiber.
And this
Yes.
might be feedback, I don't know if you know anything, I'm convinced fiber boy is sitting on a shelf somewhere. But, Denver College, I read a news story, this was probably 10 years ago, if not longer. When I was diagnosed with type one, they said 10 years we got cured. I was literally in the hospital bed in the intensive care. We got cured in 10 years. Well, it's been 20 plus. And so Denver College apparently come up with a pill that, either attached or somehow manipulated the, glucose in your bloodstream and you urinated it out. So nothing went to your cells. If you were on the medication, if you're not, of course, everything works the way it's supposed to, or not, for that matter. Have you heard anything about any kind of, medication for type one?
So I have heard of there's something called an SGLT2. And what that does is it kind of works the same way as you just described. So it prevents the kidneys from reabsorbing that glucose. Okay.
Because the glucose is gonna hurt your kidneys, just like it hurts your liver.
Right, in excess amounts, absolutely.
So I didn't know if that was something that they had, brought forward, or like I said, it's really positive.
Yes, and there have been a lot of research and studies on type 1 because that type is autoimmune. So they're still working on it. In the meantime, the good news is that a lot of medical devices, such as the insulin pumps, have been created. Again, the CGMs, all of that, that makes it easier to monitor your blood glucose levels. It also, the pumps are great for, administering the insulin. So there have been a lot of steps toward, kind of helping with type 1, but they're still working on it, still researching and studying, yes. Yes, 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 absolutely. Yes.
In your courses, do you talk about diabetes and dementia and
Ooh. So that's a great question. So to be frank, in the diabetes prevention program, no, no. However, you bring up a great point in that there has been recent studies to show that there is a strong link between diabetes and dementia. So, yes, yes, yes. Yep, they're calling it. Some people have called it diabetes type 3, but that's not an official term. Please don't quote me. It's not an official term, but some people have referred to it as that. Yes. Any other questions? All right. Well, if not, like like I said, you all, I hope know where the office is, the Crater Main office. I will be there if you or anyone you know is interested in the diabetes prevention program. I'm going to thank you all.
On behalf of our club, we would like to give you this pen. Thank you so much for your information. Thank you. Let's give her a round of applause. A very informative program. Thank you for your knowledge today.